So don't ever hit your head. A little over 3.5 years ago, I fell 100 meters off a steep mountainside, and I've been paying for it ever since. Yes, I'm lucky to be alive, but the traumatic brain injury symptoms have been horrible, and it's 3.5 years. I still have them. I have improved quite a bit. The first year, I was pretty much housebound and bedridden completely. I had to wear dark sunglasses in a dark room, any amount of light. To me, I could barely think of words. I could barely talk. When I did talk, it was very slow. I couldn't put together more than two ideas in one sentence. I do still struggle with that if I overuse or overwork my brain in a day, which doesn't take much. When you have concussion, your brain fatigue kicks in way faster when you have concussion. I will still revert back and be able to barely speak, be able to barely think of words, be able to think of anything if I do too much in one day, which for the first 2 years didn't take much. Like one conversation with somebody would exhaust me because of all of the trying to think of words and put them together. Again, I still have trouble with that if I do too much. And I've been homeless for 2 years now with traumatic brain injury and a severe autoimmune disease. I don't have family to stay with. I don't have close friends to stay with. Everybody that I do know doesn't have a spare bedroom or bathroom, and it's already overcrowded, and my own friends and family are struggling financially. I don't know anybody rich. And I've been pushing myself so hard to get online work done, and it's just my brain every single day. The amount of times I almost ended everything just from the exhaustion and just pay no attention to my crystals. But it's just traumatic brain injury is so hard. Like, I can't even think of words, especially like I've improved with this a little bit, but anytime I use my brain, and you're using your brain constantly, it gets exhausted. And if you think about a time when you've been so exhausted, like let's say you've been doing your finals in university and you haven't slept in days, and you've been writing papers and studying for days, or you're moving and you haven't really slept in how many days, and there's so much arrangements and things to make, or you've been working, like maybe your job is demanding and you've had to work for 2 or 3 days in a row without sleeping. Think about how exhausted you are in those moments. That's what your brain gets like just from doing basic tasks in a row in one day with traumatic brain injury. Yes, I've improved a little bit with that. I can do more and more here, as time goes, but I also regress at times if I've used it too much. And you don't think about it when you don't have traumatic brain injury, but every day you are making choices constantly. Like the choice, like what time to get out of bed. Should I get out of bed now or stay in bed? What should I eat? The order that you do tasks in, thinking about to do tasks, remembering things, like anything you do use your brain with, like it exhausts you just making those little choices. Like I still struggle with like what to eat because I also have food aversions with this that get triggered by my other symptoms. So if my motion sickness is triggered, which I always am kind of at a baseline of motion sickness, even when I do have, and any movement or too much movement will trigger my motion sickness, so that it feels like I've been on a roller coaster 10 times in a row, or on a merry-go-round spinning for 10 or 15 minutes. And you can't do anything else when your motion sickness is that bad but lay there and wait for it to go away. And even moving in bed could trigger it for me. Like if it's already, I can't even think of words because I'm so emotional right now. I'm so stressed out. I've been homeless for 2 years now with traumatic brain injury and a severe autoimmune disease. I desperately still need help. And another thing with traumatic brain injury, like, especially for me, it's 3.5 years now since my accident. People get sick of hearing about it. People get sick of you needing help. People get sick of helping you. And people don't understand what it's like. I just don't ever hit your head.